Hey everyone, it's Ryan, and welcome to another live Thursday night show here at the Smokin' Studios. I am so grateful every single week to be able to come back here and do this. The fact that you guys love watching and come back time and time again just really makes me so grateful, and thank you all so much for the opportunity to continue this show week after week. But I tell you, I'm really also incredibly grateful to all the sponsors that remotely make this show possible. We have BAMF Cigars. We have ROCF Cigars. In the description below, you'll see a 15% off promo code. We have Kristoff Cigars. We've got Sagrado Cigars, Micallef Cigars, Pro Family Business, Pro Growth, and Pro Cigar Rights. We've got Big Sky Cigars, Cornell and Diehl Pipe Tobacco, with my absolute favorite being the Autumn Evening. Why I specifically asked for a Autumn Evening banner. We've got La Aurora cigars. We've got West Tampa Tobacco Company and Steve Saka himself from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, and of course Abe over at Smokin' Studios as well. Now, I just got to say thank you. Huge shout out to Abe and crew. If you guys missed the video at the very beginning of the show, Summer of Saka, please go back and rewatch it, or just better yet, go to smokin.com and check out the Summer of Saka page. I spent $400, okay, and the week that I did it, and I was able to win the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust guillotine cutter. Now, even though they sponsor the show, Steve, I asked him for one. He looked at me, no. So the fact that I won one is only made possible by the amazing team and crew and staff and everybody else involved with the Smokin' crew for the Summer of Saka event. Huge. It's like a 6-foot Saka squatch is being given away at the end of the summer. So definitely, if you have not checked out Summer of Saka event, go and do yourself a favor and check it out. There's a dozen or so prizes, I feel like, given every single week, and in the big mega drawing that everybody's in at the end of the summer. So definitely jump over to smokin.com and check them out. So we've got an absolutely great guest coming up. We've got a good buddy of mine, somebody that I'm sure everybody absolutely will know on the show. And I'm excited to smoke his cigar. And he sent me this really amazing shirt, and this thing is just super comfortable. So let's go ahead and bring in the commish. Kevin, how you doing, brother?
Oh, bro, I'm sitting here trying to tweak this whole thing because I want it to be perfect for you, bro. Listen, you can't give a old guy these new tricks here. so so I was just sitting here. See what I'm saying? Look at I'm going wild over here, bro. But
No
I'm here.
worries,
Don't
dude.
worry,
Just
bro.
you could
I'm
just
here.
leave it. You could just leave it just like that. You can leave it just like
Exactly,
that.
exactly. Because then I'm just gonna
Um,
start panicking and then I'll go out on you.
yeah. So we actually have it. It looks like an emergency food question potentially. Let's see here. He says he's prepping pork butts in the smoker tomorrow. Any tips? He had a weird one last week about painting them in mayonnaise. I don't know, dude. Do you smoke food? I'm a smoker.
I haven't smoked food. I kind of don't have the patience for it. I mean, I'd probably butcher it because I won't want to wait 12, 13 hours, 15 hours. I'll pay you to do it. You want to do it for me? I'm in.
No, I totally get it. I totally get it. And yes, a tip that I would use instead of mayonnaise, mustard. Mayonnaise could actually instill a bit of a flavor to the meat potentially. And mustard, although pungent, seems to be a pretty flavor neutral thing. So definitely check that out. Look at that, Kevin. We're getting into like cooking right off the bat. By the way, everybody, if you're hearing a bunch of weird sounds in the back, Kevin stole a whole bunch of monkeys and he's keeping them in his house. No, Kevin's actually in Nicaragua right now, so you might hear some weird screeches behind him. No need to freak out. He's not doing anything. It's just some monkeys running by or something like that. So, But Kev, let's jump right into this because you sent me this, and by the way, this just absolutely incredible shirt, dude. What a badass fucking shirt, man. Look at that. All right. So I'm loving this. You sent me the cigar. I have not tried one yet. I'm looking very forward to it. So while I get this lit up, let's go ahead and talk about what are you smoking tonight.
Uh, Honestly, I just did about a 4.5 hour trek. Um, Two different vehicles from Esteli all the way to here. So I'm kind of actually happy that I'm sitting here relaxing about to smoke a cigar because today was like up and down through torrential downpours, slow vehicles that don't want to drive, and a bunch of people on motorcycles. I mean, if you've been here, you understand that it's a 1 lane road all the way, all the way, and the only way you get to, like where I'm from, so Massachusetts. If we go up to New Hampshire and Maine, they got those 1 lane roads, and you could go on the opposite side of the road. That's kind of
Yeah.
the same thing here, but the only difference is most of the time you're dodging an 18-wheeler in front of you out here. So you just gotta pray the car don't break down while you're going because the show's over.
Yeah,
Literally.
they've got some scary roads in
Uh,
in some Central American and third world countries.
mhm.
That's for sure. So, well, what are you? Tell everybody what we're smoking tonight. Give everybody a breakdown. This segment sponsored by Steve Sock over at Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. So, I'm going to
My
hold
guy
this
over
up
there.
and tell everybody what we're smoking.
So I actually get the whole thing because you already popped off the bottom band. So I got the whole thing here next to me. So
Oh, so
I
yes.
yeah, I'll give it the breakdown for you. So anyway, well, this is a cigar group I created. New England Cigar Militia. Most of the people that are online know me by now. Thanks for the blessing that people support me a lot. The 76 on the bottom band is the first flag of the United States. So I wanted to put that in there to commemorate. Goes with the New England thing. We did a box press on this one. This is the second cigar. I actually literally only have two of these left. This is the first cigar. It's the same blend, but it's a Toro 6x52. Same blend. I just wanted to go to a box press, see what it was different, and it is really different. I was surprised that it was actually that much different. The only time you get the first cigar is when you do the retro. It tastes like the whole first cigar. So people who've smoked the first cigar, they know on that retro, they're like, oh, this tastes like the first original cigar that he made. So with that being said, 6x52 box press, American Caribbean SA in collaboration with Rockefeller Cigars. My guy Kev over there assisted me on this one. This one has uh, I'm usually not really gonna say this, but I'll say the
You don't
beginning.
have to give the blend. Just give the wrapper if you want.
So we'll do the wrapper and we'll keep it at that. So the
Yeah.
wrapper is San Andreas, which has basically been standard a lot in the industry lately. I'm actually going to try to go away from that the next time around. But San Andreas is one of my favorite. I'm more partial to broadleaf, but it's just extremely difficult right now to get broadleaf for a price that you're not going to have to charge $17 a stick. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to give
Good
it to
luck
you right now.
finding it too.
Uh, I actually smoked some yesterday. It was really, really good.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, I love, you know, uh non box press. I something about box press to me that it's just so much more comfortable in the mouth. It feels more
Hmm.
comfortable. And when they draw great, there's nothing like a really good, well made box press. There's really nothing like it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I'm very partial to my box presses though. Like every other cigar, I can kind of oh well, it is what it is. It draws a little tight, a little loose, but box presses, man, you know what I mean. I want that flow to go through the cigar when I'm smoking it. You know, I tend to stay partial to a lot of tattoo stuff with the box press. That's kind of
Yeah.
like my level that I want to be at. You
Well,
know.
I don't know. I know some people don't like them. I really like them. I think they're the most comfortable in the mouth. And quite frankly, it's the most enjoyable way to smoke a 6x60 is the box press versus
Yeah,
the cylinder.
no six
So
by sixties for me,
it's
brother.
too much.
Period.
No, I'm just saying I've had both, and I'm telling you, like it's more comfortable than a box press. Um, Either way, thank you so much, Steve, for sponsoring the "What Are You Smoking Tonight" segment here. So, Kev, let's kind of dive right into this, man. How did you get so known inside of cigars? Because you're kind of your own personality in the cigar world, right? It's like those that geek out about cigars tend to know who you are. And I don't think you disagree with me on that. The more
I'm pretty
involved in the cigar side, the more they likelihood to know you. At least that's my experience.
I'm pretty humble with the old deal. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love cigars. You know what I'm saying? I've been I've been very blessed. I kind of like I said, like I kind of like smoked the cigar and was like trying to be the head honcho when I first smoked my first cigar. It's like, yeah, I'm the man. I'm smoking a cigar, you know, and like I always tell people, that same story will always stick with me. That Padron 1926, like, yeah, you see that, I'm not even smoking the cigar, bro. You know what I mean? I'm showing the cigar, you know. I'm like, hey, you see that? I'm looking at people like making sure they see it, that type of thing. And I just realized I really like smoking. I mean, I really enjoyed cigars. I
And
really
how long
enjoyed
ago was this?
it's been a while now. I mean, 2000. I'd say the first time I smoked a cigar was like 2013 because I used to smoke the other stuff. So there was never a thought of smoking cigars. It was just like unravel it, throw the cigar guts on the ground and fill it up. Um, now, dude, now you can't pay me to smoke that stuff at all. Believe me,
Oh,
like not even a little bit. Um, but yeah, I started smoking cigars, and then I was like, this is pretty cool. And like, I don't know where it came from, but I always had a passion to go to Cuba, even when I was little. I don't know, like it was nothing to do with cigars. I mean, I even had in my, one of my apartments, I had Valadero Cuba on the wall, and in my bathroom. I can't say that word, by the way. Um, uh, and it was like I looked at that every day, and I said, this is a place I dream of going. And I eventually ended up going there, and going through all of Cuba. I went through three-quarters of Cuba the first real cigar trip I took, and loved the Cuban people. Truthfully, I dislike the cigars. I'm just not a fan. I never been. I'm not a
I'm not going to
floral.
deny on that. I'm not a
Yeah.
Cuban. People have been super kind to give me quite a few of them varietal, and I understand why people like them. I just go bang for the buck.
Hmm.
I could go to a $10 or $15 cigar and, in my opinion, get something that's more my profile.
Yeah, I don't like that cedary, woodsy, florally. I don't like anything about it. And then on top of it, it's like I pop it out and I start smoking it, and then it's plugged. And like, my number one thing, and people really know this about me. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go out and say brands or anything like that, but people really know this about me, and they've seen me do it a lot. I don't like a cigar, bro. I throw it. If it's $5, $10, $20, like if I'm sitting there and I'm smoking a cigar and it's plugged or it has no draw or whatever it does, like my whole thing is to enjoy a cigar, especially when I'm around friends. So if I'm sitting there and I know I'm gonna be in a 2 hour battle fighting my cigar, I'm good, bro. I'm out. That thing's gone. It's going flying across my yard. That's just me. Now, I'm not gonna go publicly talk names or anybody. You know what I mean? Everybody has a cigar that they handmade products. You know what I mean? I've had them for myself, but it's just like boom, I'm on to the next one. You know what I mean? Like boom, that one wasn't good. It is what it is. I'm on to the next one. And now I'm not saying I got tons of money, to be doing that. I'm blessed that some people take care of me, send me cigars. I have my own cigars, and I don't have to buy as many as I used to. But it's just it's to me the number one thing, especially when I get out of work, dude. Like I don't want no I don't want no added stress. That's really what it comes down to. So if I'm sitting there and I'm like, ooh, there's a stem there, and I start pulling at it and I'm digging at it, not right away I throw it out. I try to fight it for maybe 5-7 minutes, but after that I'm like, dude, I'm out. Next one, you know what I mean? And usually I try to get like one that I know that I've never had fail on me, you know?
See, I bought a perfect draw.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fuck with them for a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. But I bought the perfect draws explicitly because somebody sent me 2 Cubans. And before I smoked the Cubans, I bought the perfect draw because I was gonna feel terrible. And one of the Cubans smoked great. The other one, it had to get a little bit of help. But
Mm-hmm.
so what, as you kind of are getting into this, how did you get to the point where you're the commish, where you're New England Cigar? Like, where along in 2013 to now did that take place?
Well, best simple way to put it without physically trashing anybody, because I mean it's kind of like I said, it's a passion thing. First of all, shout out to my guy Ronnie Delagrati, because he was the one who showed me all the online stuff. I had no idea Cigar had an online community. I would have never found it if it wasn't for him. So he showed me, he's like, yo, bro, check this out. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I kind of like ignored it, but it was there. And then I found, a certain group, which I'm not going to say their names because, like I said, I'm not trying to trash anybody. But they kind of gave me the strive. They kind of like basically like acted like I was a nobody. And at the time, it's true. At this point, like it's true. I was nobody at all at that time. I still don't think I'm anybody. I'm just a cigar smoker,
I
bro.
I'm
You
saying
know, I just enjoy smoking cigars with my friends, man. I have so many guys, girls, old, young. It's crazy now, right? And so I said, let me try to ask this guy if I could, have my own little chapter in his cigar thing. He was like, he sent me like a 7-page message, and then the Boston came out of me. I'm like, I don't know if this dude
seven
knows who. I don't know if
page.
knows. Yeah, it was just like a long conversation about respect and honor and all kinds of stuff. And I just looked at it. I started reading it at first, and I'm like, I don't know if this dude knows where I'm from. Now I'm making my own thing. And my cigar militia idea was a 5 minute out of nowhere. Boom. It was 5 minutes, literally. It started with cigar, and then it was Boston militia, and I was like, no, that's too small. And then I was like, Boston cigar militia. I was like, that's still too small, even though I wanted to be Boston Cigar Militia. And I was like, you know what? We don't have anything in New England, like New England Cigar Militia. That's it. And then I had a guy for like cheap, dude. Back then, I mean, that guy charges like $400 now for a logo. I think I paid $50 for my logo. fifty
And
dollars for my
it's an
freaking
awesome
logo.
logo.
And the first time I seen it, I was like, oh, we're in business here with this one, you know? So I'm very proud of it now. I mean, a lot of people enjoy it, and I mean, perfect example today. I got my little private chat, I got my regular chat, I got my online thing, and I'm constantly on it, dude, all day long. Like it might be for 2 seconds. People might not think I'm looking at it, but believe me, I look at that thing 35 times a day to make sure everything goes smooth. Nobody's giving people each other problems, because my thing is if you're giving people problems or there's the thing, like I don't need the jerk off that's in the cigar lounge. Like I don't need him. He can stay in the cigar lounge. Like he doesn't need to be in my cigar group. He can be a jerk off in his own cigar lounge. But like I want to come back, and if I don't exist anymore one day, God forbid, something happens to me, I want to know that I've made a whole bunch of friends, and that whole bunch of friends became friends.
Yeah.
And it's like something simple, like you own a cigar shop in Colorado, and one of my other friends from New Hampshire is like, dude, I'm going to Colorado. I'm like, oh, go see Ryan. He got a cigar shop in Colorado. And then boom, now you guys are friends. I mean, I can't tell you how many people that I met personally like that. I
Oh
met
yeah.
Rockefeller Kevin like that. I met the guys that Smoke Inn like that. AJ from Smoke Inn. You know, I met so many different people in that exact way.
Well,
So
everyone, here is the group. You have done very well for yourself. 2,100 members in a private group. Um, so when you started kicking this off, did you ever expect it to get over 500 people?
so when I kicked it off, it wasn't really about that. Like I said, Massachusetts really had nothing. It was just about me, meeting people because I had no cigar shops to go to. I had no friends in cigar shops or nothing, right? And we actually had way more members than that right there. Like it was at like 2,800 members. And Facebook shut me down. So then I had to redo it again after 3 years. It would probably be at 10,000 members, 8,000 members by now if I didn't have to redo it. It's kind of like I feel like I'm a ghost on there now. Like they like know that I made a new group and like they're like keeping people away from me. I don't know how to explain it. I couldn't find half the people the first time after they kicked everybody out. Like they kicked out my admins, deleted their accounts that they had
Really?
for decades, dude. I was so upset, bro. I'm like, I didn't I didn't do this to like ruin people's, like thing on with all their kids' pictures and everything like that. And like Facebook goes and does this. And like we had no strikes against us, nothing. It was just like I woke up in the morning and I had people messaging me like, "You really kicked me out of the group?" And I'm like, "No, dude. Like, what do you mean? Like the group's not there no more, and my Facebook account's deleted." And I'm like, "What?" So
Wow. And I thought
yeah,
YouTube was bad with what they were doing, but
yeah. It was kind of
I
like a
haven't gone
surprise.
through that. I kind
Hmm.
of figured private groups were maybe not regulated to that extent because of the private side of the group, but I
Hmm.
that's crazy.
Hmm. Dude,
So
I was getting 3,000, 2,000 views on a video before. Like when I first was on Facebook, now I get like 10, 12,
wow.
14. It's like they shade me, bro. I'm telling you, I really feel like they shade people.
Well, I'm
I feel
sure
like
they
everybody in
do.
the
I'm
cigar community
sure.
is shaded.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's that way with pretty much ATF, right?
Hmm.
Anything alcohol, tobacco, fire. Now, if you smoke the stuff that you used to and you'd empty out the cigars and fill it again, you'd probably have 40,000 views of video with, 4,000, 10,000, 20,000 members.
Hmm.
And that's really kind of the BS side of social media. They don't care, but they do because they care about tobacco more than they do anything else, which is just ridiculous. However, I digress. We could go down that road for a long time and
Oh
really
yeah,
shit talk a lot.
oh
But
yeah.
so you started getting into making your own cigars. When was your first cigar?
2000. What was my first cigar? Or when was
No,
my
your
attempts?
when your first
When was my
as far
attempt
as
at a first
making.
cigar?
Yes, yes.
My attempt at a first cigar was 2021 Dominican Republic. Had the cigar 3/4 made. Did not
Yes.
like it. Chopped it.
Okay.
Chopped it. I went back to the drawing board. I told Mr. Schweitzer, I said, Kev, I want to go to Nicaragua. He's like, you want to go to Nicaragua? I'm like, did I say it, bro? When are we going? He's like, whenever you want. 3 months later, I was in Nicaragua blending my own cigar. That was the New England Cigar Militia Reserve number one. Only made a limited batch because I didn't know how it was going to attract people. I didn't know if people actually followed me. I didn't know if people actually trusted me, you know what I mean, or anything at all, because it's like I'm just coming out of the woodwork trying to make a cigar, trying to make
Sure.
people happy. And I mean, I can't lie, dude. My first cigar, I didn't even enjoy it at all, like zero enjoyment. It was the most stressful thing that I've went through in the last 20 years of my life. Um, the cigar was delayed at first. Then the bands were delayed for 5 months. Then the bands came, but the factory wasn't ready to ship them. So you're talking about like I had about 5.5 months of dead time to sit and reflect on, is my cigar going to be any good? Are people going to like my cigar? Are people going to hate my cigar? Is it going to make it into the country?
Oh.
Where's my bands at? And then I'm working
Oh.
my full-time job, so it's like, oh my God. Now, when I made the second cigar, dude, I'm going to be honest with you, the second cigar was like a smile and, almost like a happy tear. I popped it out of the box in a 5-pack, and I was like, this is what it's about. I felt that pride with the flag on it, my logo on it. You know what I'm saying? It was different than the first one. The first one was just like a stress box. So yeah. So now I'm starting to get to the point now. I'm understanding a lot of things, and I'm trying to do them all on my own. I don't have, the money or the power or any of that stuff to be virtually integrated in Nicaragua. But what I can do on my own and actually like dip my hands into it, I do it. You know what I mean? Like if somebody says, "Oh, well, we're not going to make the boxes," I'm going to make my own boxes. I'm going to design it. I'm going to put things in certain spots, whether it's a slot or a hinge or whatever, anything on the box that people don't think about. You know what I mean? I've talked to a lot of these big guys, and I'm blessed that, I'd say 95% of them send me a message back and they give me real information. You know what I mean? They don't sit here and be like, oh, he's trying to get like in my side of the business or take a couple of my customers. They're like totally genuinely, hey, you do this helps you do that. But it's a lot of time and a lot of effort. They'll tell you straight up. Like perfect example with packaging. I was talking to Skip, and Skip told me a whole bunch of stuff about packaging. It might be little thing to a regular person, but to somebody who's getting into this side of things and trying to understand things and trying to maneuver the little bit of money that I have, to make a great product and not waste that money on the packaging.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
packaging. Sometimes I look at some of the really expensive cigars, and then I look at the box they come in, not naming any names or brands or anything along those lines. And the first thing I think of is how much of the cost of the cigar is in that box. And like everybody just goes home. I actually love Steve Saka, the Umagog packaging. It's just the cardboard
Yeah,
or
the
just
red meat lovers
paper.
packaging.
The red, like well, not so much anymore. Red Meat Lovers now has boxes, but
Oh yeah,
originally,
that's true.
yes. Originally, yes. I love the paper because I don't feel like I'm paying anything for it. So like being very concise and meticulous and how you want your box done. Are you being price conscious of how much that adds to the cigar as well?
Hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of money, bro. People don't, they don't, they look at it just like with their eyes closed, because they don't know. Average price of a box is $7 to $9, and you need to buy 100 boxes, right? And then if you don't want to go wake up in the morning and put the time and effort, like you just get the same shitty box that everybody has. Like I said, it's no offense to anybody, but like where I'm from, bro, like I have passion, like I don't want to be like everybody else. If I'm walking down the street and everybody's wearing the same Jordan sneakers, even though I love Jordan sneakers, like I'm gonna let mine sit in the closet for 2 years, and then when nobody's wearing them anymore, I'm gonna pull them out of the closet. That's how I am. You know what I mean? Like I'm wearing a T-shirt right now. I don't know if you could see it that good, but I'm wearing something that's dire to where I'm from, my heritage. I'm wearing a hat to where I'm from. It's just who I am. Like I don't run around and wear dress suits. I go to a cigar event. I'm not wearing a button-up shirt 95% of the time. It's something I like, or my group, or whatever I am that symbolizes me. So if you look at my shirt right now, right, you can see it's a
Identity.
it's a JFK shirt.
Mhm.
And that's as Boston as it gets.
It's,
Yeah, I'm saying
it's very
with the
true.
cigar, with the
Yeah,
cigar in his
yeah,
mouth.
no, absolutely, that's very true.
So
So,
it's just me, and I still hate the Yankees, and I'll always hate the Yankees.
well, fortunately for you, I don't know if that's fighting words. I'm not really a sports guy, so I'll just let that one go, I guess. I don't know.
I was
People,
talking about the team. I wasn't talking about the actual, how they classify
oh
and
gosh, no, no,
yeah.
no,
So
because you're a Yankee, in that sense,
exactly.
if we're gonna call it that. But so how was the success of the first cigar launch? Did it sell fast? Were you surprised?
Yeah,
Was it?
definitely. I definitely was surprised with how quick they sold. I think I
You said
sold
you made how many?
1,200 the first time.
1,200 cigars
Just 1,200 cigars.
and 5 packs or bundles of
Five
10?
packs.
Five
Five
packs and how
packs.
quick?
I'd say they were 75% gone in a week.
That had to make you feel like really good though,
Yeah. I
because
mean,
I mean you
well,
got your
what made
money
me
back at a minimum.
remember this, right? Like, so it did feel good, but that was still another week of stress.
Oh
Like,
yes.
man, they just bought it. Oh, and now they're sending me messages like they just bought it, and I'm like, oh, this dude bought it too. Oh shit! I felt like I was going in the corner. You know what I mean? And they were gonna all, hit me with this is okay. I mean, the ass is all right. Or the burn's okay. Or, you're my friend, so that's why. So when people actually sent me messages, I mean, it started to get overwhelming with how many people said it's a great cigar. You know what I mean? I was like, damn. And then, I had some people that like rejected, some press people that were like, hey, you're too small, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And I'm like, they're right, and now what's crazy is now I had like 7, 8 press people release my cigar. I mean, to me, that's, even though like cigar media is not big, but when you're like a cigar guy, I don't really call myself a geek, but when you're a
Well,
cigar
yeah,
guy,
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, and
and when
that's
you're a
okay.
cigar guy, yeah, you appreciate it. You're like, yeah, man, I made it to this guy's media station and that guy's media station and that guy's media station, and what, you know?
Oh, dude,
So,
I totally I had Cigar Journal, Bruce Bush, before they ever even came out as a sponsor, write an article about me, and he sent it. I was
mhm.
like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What you write an article about me for? What the fuck did I ever do? Like, and you're like you're kind of like blown away. And so like I
Mhm.
understand that feeling, especially when you had the first time around where people are like, you're not big enough, we're not going to do this. And now and you're still not huge, but
No,
now they're releasing, now they're talking about you. Now they know you. Now you've established yourself in your own little corner in this cigar community and you're growing
mhm.
it out. So after the first release of the first cigar, by the way, what was the makeup of the first cigar?
They're both the same. So the undisclosed stuff that we were talking about,
Okay, the
and the
San
Mexican
that's
San
right.
Andreas.
You did a box press version of it.
Yeah, and
So
I have. God, you talk,
no,
because
I
I don't
was
know
gonna
what you
say,
were saying.
so as you're making these, you sell 75% out in a week. The 25% extra probably lingered shortly after and was bought up. Now it's all gone. Are you having people hound you about cigar? Hey, this was great. This was great. Did you get haters? Was there nothing but love? Kind of tell everybody what that experience was like, because that's, you took a huge risk, a gamble. You threw yourself out there. Yes, you sold it, but it's not about selling it that first time. It's about people liking it to where they're like, Kevin, give us another one. Give us another one,
Hmm.
Kev. Kev, give us another one, which is what they were doing. So, what was that whole couple of months after while people are ingesting and smoking and enjoying your cigar?
I'd say it was literally 99% of people liked the cigar, and then I had one hater, literally one
You've
single
got to.
hater.
You've got to.
And I mean, he's a person that like I'm not gonna mention his name. He ain't even,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like it's like when you have these stupid people that run around and they hurt other people, physically or
he's a bully.
organizations, that type of stuff, right? They hurt people or they hurt lives. I He's not worth mentioning my name,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like it's not worth me mentioning his name. Um, so it's like you say to yourself, you're like, wow, man, I thought he was my friend, It was one of those. It was one of those, like I thought this guy was my friend, you know, more than anything,
Oh,
truthfully.
oh.
Yeah.
So undisclosed person
hmm
made it the mission to trash you,
Oh,
not just say
on
your
my
stuff.
birthday, on my birthday,
Oh,
even better, right?
okay.
You know.
Okay, so now obviously stuff happens. That friendship moves forward, moves on. Um,
It just, the thing is, right? The thing is you gotta take that negative energy and make it positive. You know what I mean? Like like the Red Sox, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win, bro. And I'm trying to have everybody win with me that I have in my cigar group. So if I make a good cigar, we all get to sit together and we all win together. So by him sending me that message, he just amplified my how much harder I'm gonna go. Like I get that like hunger, like a lion that's in the corner and he needs to eat. I get more hungry. I'm up till 4 o'clock in the morning doing stuff that might never make it to the public. Like I'll wake up, oh, I'm gonna make a patch. And I'm like, no, I don't like that patch. After I work on it for 10 hours. you know?
dude, I you
Yeah.
you say patches like you've got a lot of pretty cool fucking stuff, man. I
Well,
mean,
I could
all
tell
of
you how
this
that
stuff.
started. I could tell you how that started, so
Yeah, go
how
ahead.
I looked at everybody in the cigar industry who was making stuff, right? And they said nothing's like personal attacks or anything like that. But I said to myself, like, I'm not a regular guy when it comes to doing something. Like, I have to do it deep if I want to do it, right? And I said to myself, I was like, who do I think are the models of who you want to be in the cigar community? And I looked around and I saw Drew Estate and I saw Cigar Dojo, and I
Yes.
was like, that's who I am. That's who I am. So I'm like, anything that I have to make has to be on that level. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Those are like my who I look at. Oh, I don't look at anybody else's stuff. No offense to them. I look at those people's stuff. I see what they're coming out. I'm like, that's some cool shit. Okay, or that's a good cigar. All right. I like that packaging. All right, I like that sling bag. Like, and then I think about what I can do for my group to give back to my group. But you got to remember, right? They got buku money, Drew Estate, so they can go out and buy 1 million bags when I'm buying 30. So I can never be on that level. But like,
Oh no, very
I
few
use them
companies can.
exactly. I use them as like a base, or like a role model, or like a it's go hard or go home. I look at all this stuff. What's up, Steve? Yeah. So I mean, I just try to do what I got to do. So
Well, I mean, you
and
you you couldn't have picked better people. I mean, I called Eric and reached out to Eric when I first started this show for advice. I mean, Dojo in cigar media is the biggest thing out there and definitely one of the most well-known names. So to kind of model yourself after the quality of stuff that they put out, it's it's following a leader that's doing really well. I mean, that's setting yourself up for success. If something ain't broke, don't fix it.
hmm
And that's all a huge shout out to Eric and Jordan at Dojo. I mean, I just got Strike Force. I don't know if you did or not, but uh, I know I just picked that one up. But so as you're building this group, you're going through, you're buying stuff. People are getting stuff from you that is branded New England Cigar Militia. Now we come to this point where we're releasing a box press version of that cigar. How did that sales go versus the first one? And are you just as happy?
I'm always gonna be happy. Because like I said, I mean, if the stuff don't sell, man, I'll be sitting by a campfire with my friends when I'm 60, shooting the shit, and be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you want to smoke my cigar? I made this one." So I'll
20
always be
years
happy.
old.
Yeah, yeah, it's 20 years old exactly, bro.
Look at the age on that wrapper.
Exactly. So I'll always be happy. It everybody would love to sell a million of anything. Everybody would love to have the house on the hill, which I'm actually looking up here. We got the statue. I'm pretty sure it's Christ up on the mountain here. In San Juan. Everybody would want to be on the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? But uh, the sales were very, very good. Which was it was funny. There weren't that many sales in person. It was countrywide, but it wasn't that many in person.
So a new
Because
audience is what you're saying is
mhm,
what bought. And
mhm,
that's huge. Like
mhm,
that's that's called expansion. That's audience expansion there, dude. I would
yeah,
rather not sell them face to face, obviously a little bit here and there, but to know that somebody in California and you're up in Boston just bought your cigars, like,
mhm,
dude, that's huge.
yeah. I had a I had a lot of people that like I was like, you know, yo, my cigars came out. All right, I'm buying 20. And like I send messages. When somebody messages, like, dude, like, because I have a couple friends that like can't really afford to buy a lot of cigars. Like I know that. I make sure I send them a message. I'm like, bro, like I love you either way, bro. Like you don't need to waste your money if you don't have it on my cigars. Like I know you support me as a person. It's so much deeper with a lot of the people that I talk to. And they know who I am. You know what I mean? Like he literally knows who I am, who I'm talking about. It's so much deeper than just a stupid cigar. And it's like it's not stupid, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't care, man. We have a good friendship, bro. Like it's a cigar, bro. Like we'll smoke any cigar together. Like I'll take the band off and smoke anybody's cigar.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's the
absolutely.
um it's the camaraderie we created over the years. And now it's kind of like I'm kind of getting into a zone of understanding everything. So I guess I'm trying to simplify things. I'm just trying to keep making great stuff now, and I've been blessed to, like I said, get a lot of respect from a lot of people I didn't think would even listen to me in the cigar industry. A lot of
That's awesome.
blenders. Forget the guy who makes the cigar. Blenders. Um, like to the point that's like, dude, don't call me a friend. I consider you like family. I'm like, damn, bro, like, you know, So it's turning, and it's like I go there to make the cigar, yeah, but like we sit there and we eat or we have a conversation, and some other guy walks in and I meet that guy, and then this guy's an even bigger guy than the guy I'm talking to, and it's like, damn, dude, like I'm just in here, with these guys, and they're all way bigger than me, and they're just accepting me like I'm really like the guy who is just a little guy on the totem pole. So.
But that's the beauty of this community,
Mhm,
though, because there's
mhm,
a lot of as somebody that works in a huge corporate business world, there's a lot of organizations, there's a lot of business communities that won't look at you unless you're X amount of worth or X amount of value or did such and such. And I don't feel the cigar community is that way. I feel the cigar community is, yeah, everybody is in it to make a dollar. Everybody is in it to be bigger than maybe the competitor. But at the end, it's WWE, right? In the end, everybody's hugging behind the show, behind the doors, and that's not to say that there's walls in public and behind it is that, but I'm saying it's a true community of acceptance. It's somebody like yourself coming in, and now you've got blenders, like you had said, master blenders, listening to you and working with you, and I I gotta believe that that's not a place you thought you would have been at.
Nah, but it did. You know what got me a lot of respect, and you gotta like be like, oh shit, is I understood a lot of the stuff. Like when I came into this, I said that if I'm gonna sell cigars, whether it's 5,000, I want to be able to sell cigars and talk about what I've done. And I said until I can do that, um, I feel like I'm a fake. The way like I said, the way I was brought up, it all comes back to my roots. So I'm like, okay, well, I have, my cigar has Ometepe in it, right? I've been Ometepe 3 times. I've been on the fields. Like it's not a like I'm telling you some Walt Disney story. Like I've been there, you know.
Hey, Mike.
I've been to Cuba. I've been to 4 parts of Cuba. Um, I want to go to Mexico to see where my Sandra Andres wrapper was made. You know,
In
I've
Tuxtla,
been to Tamboril,
Mexico,
Dominican Republic.
the Tuxtla area of Mexico.
Exactly. I've
That's
been to
why,
Dominican
yeah.
Republic. I have dreams of going to Honduras, even though it's a little more dangerous, a little more complicated. I mean, I like to mix business and pleasure.
It's a lot more
So
dangerous.
yeah, it's a lot more dangerous, bro.
A
Like a
little bit
lot
more.
more dangerous.
It's a lot more.
It's a lot more dangerous. And it's just the truth. It's like we were
Get
supposed
a
to go to
little bit better
Ecuador.
tan before you go to Honduras. Blend it a little bit better.
Oh man, I'm gonna need to.
you,
I'm way too gringo with the red beard, dude.
yeah,
Gives
dude,
it away way too easy.
you stick out like a light bulb.
Exactly,
I'm the same
exactly.
way, man. I'm the same way. I do have a question here,
You
and
got
I
it.
think I think I can answer it to the best that I can. But I'll let you answer this, Kevin. Um, I haven't heard of the brand, but I live in the middle of nowhere. Do you put out a sampler pack? What do you think the best cigars in your vitolas are? I'll let you explain
Okay,
the
so
answer for that.
I'm working slowly. Like I said, I'm very small. I don't want to be that guy who's selling, 20 cigars, 17 different vitolas. It's not who I am. I have cigars coming out in limited productions. I hope to at least keep those in the stores who initially supported me and make them be able to have so many a year or so many per order, whatever they decide to do. Right now, my cigar is still available at Federal Cigar in New Hampshire. And I also have a new cigar that is going to only be released online. That's a very, very, very limited supply. That's no ban, so I could keep the price down. Just a package on the outside, undisclosed. Only the size is disclosed on it. And I'm going to be honest with you, the cigar is fire.
So
And
so hold on. So you are going production. You aren't going limited runs on. I thought this was a limited one off, and then you were going to do another. So you're actually starting up a brand that will be in stores full time. Is that your goal?
no, 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 no. So here's the best way to put it. I tell them, right? Like it's more of this. There's not much money in what I'm doing, right? So it's going to be a 50-50 thing. So I make sure I take care of the people who supported me, and then they get what they want in the stores, and then there'll be a separate amount for me to hold back for whenever I decide to release it after they're all taken care of. And then eventually I'm going to work down the road and maybe make whatever my cigar group, because they're the ones who support me, says whatever Vitola that I should bring out or whatever cigar might come back. And then also be able to work with certain factories to create something with those factories that can either be sold all in stores as a limited production once a year or one time, whatever I can get them to commit to and I can afford to commit to. And I'll have that going. And then 4th of July is mine. We're America, bro. 4th of July is mine. My goal is to any CM to take over the 4th of July, bro, every year.
But
You know what I mean?
but you are working yourself to the point where you will be a store driven brand potentially across several states year round, not just a
Yep.
limited drop a couple of times a year, right? That is the working towards goal.
Like I said, I mean, here's the best way to put it, and this is what I tell everybody. The best way to put it is that I enjoy cigars. When cigars ain't fun no more, I'm done. So I'm not going to be going across the country in 350 stores. I don't care if somebody wakes up tomorrow and says, yo, here's $2 million. It's not happening. Like, I have a full-time gig. I enjoy cigars. Cigars are my outlet. But if I get 20 stores that want to support me and that supplements what I'm trying to make to be able to say, okay, this is a good little side gig with good quality cigars that the people who gave back to me and supported me, whether it was the people who are buying the cigars, the cigar shop that invited me in, and maybe make a cigar dinner. I've always wanted to do something with red meat lovers. I want to
Okay.
do charity things. I want to give back a little bit. I mean, I've gave back a little bit. Like, I don't like to take credit for it, but one of the next things I'm trying to do, which just came out of nowhere because I'm kind of that type of person, is I want to give back to something in Nicaragua that means something to me outside cigars. And I happen to meet the person that I'm probably going to do it with. He has a baseball team. They don't have baseball jerseys. So I'm probably going to design them a baseball jersey and maybe some hats and go out there with the kids. You know what I mean? I played 18 years of baseball. I was really good at baseball. My sister was really, really good at softball. So I just love to go sit on the field, teach the kids some stuff, play some baseball, and, try not to cry when I'm handing these kids that, don't have nothing some baseball jerseys.
So
You know,
I think it would be a lot of fun. And I think you have the name and the partnerships and at least the friendships to do something like this. I think it would be fun to do a New England box.
a New England what?
A New England manufacturer box where you team up with Skip, do something with Saka, do something with the New England manufacturers, and
That'd be
then
amazing.
and
That
then
would
you
be like
can put out
unbelievable.
like a New England collaboration box where it's just New England manufacturers. And I think you have the friendships to be able to maybe work something like that through. And I think that would sell big if you can get that done as far as like maybe your next cigar is with Skip or your next cigar is with Saka or your next cigar is with Nick. And then you kind of work another one until you can get 10 and then you release them all in one box. I think that would be awesome.
That'd be crazy. I never even thought of that. I'll be honest with you.
I think
You know.
that'd be fun. See, sometimes this the head comes up with something good, right? I
Hmm.
think so. I think so, guys. We'll say 6 years from now, we'll get a New England collaboration box from Kevin announced right here on this show.
Imagine that. Imagine that. You know. That
So,
would be
who
like
would be in that box? Who
oh,
would be in that box?
if it was my choice. So I don't want to quote on Skip because I don't know if he's from here.
I thought he was
Um,
New England area.
I
I
know he's
might
in
be
Texas
completely
now.
wrong. Oh,
Um,
I apologize.
yeah, but I don't know if he's from Texas. I don't know where he's from, so I don't want to say yes or no. Soccer, obviously, that would be like a no-brainer. Tatuaje would be a no-brainer. Rockefeller would have to be first because, it's my guy. I rock with Rockefeller.
Oh yeah,
Literally rock.
Kevin.
I rock with the rock, literally. Foundation, great cigars. You know what I mean? Maybe like a small factory out of New York. Who else? There's not as many as you think there are. Maybe 5. Tatuaje, definitely. Tatuaje, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know where Skip's from. I always thought
hmm
he was New England area, but I've never spoken to him. I've never met him. There's not a lot of Roma craft stuff out here in Colorado that I've been able to find.
I think
But
Skip stuff is very, very, very unique. In my opinion, I like Skip stuff a lot.
so let's kind of dive into, if you're open to it. Let's talk about some of your go-to brands. What are you smoking and loving right now? And yeah, let's start there.
It's what's funny is I'm partial to everybody at this point, but I'm partial to nobody. Like I wake up some days and I'm like, I want a soccer cigar, and then I smoke a soccer cigar for 3 days in a row. And then I'm like, fuck that shit. I don't want to smoke that no more. And then I'm like, Tatuaje for 2 days. And I'm like, fuck that shit. I don't want to smoke that no more. And then I'm Foundation for 2 days. And then I'm my own cigar for 3 days. And then I'm Rockefeller for 2 days. I kind of just like whatever I wake up and want, like HVC. Like, I like a lot of HVC stuff. The new broadleaf was really good. Then
Yes.
I obviously have Padron is one of my favorites. I mean, my favorite's 1926. It used to be the 80th, but I like the 1926 90 now. And then I like the Padron Black. I used to smoke them things like they were going out of style, dude. Legit, like I would smoke that thing back to back for 30 days, and then be like, I never want to see this cigar again. That's kind of like I go in like spurts, kind of like how I eat too. I kind of eat the same way, and I don't blend cigars, with the factory or smoke cigars with alcohol at all, at all, unless I'm out and just drinking. And there's zero expectation whether I like the cigar or not. Because I truly believe that when you drink and you smoke, dude, you can't taste the cigar. You smoke 5 cigars, dude, you can't taste the cigar. You
Now,
know what I mean?
by the time I have my third cigar, I'm smoking something I've smoked a ton.
hmm
I don't do anything new. I try to save everything new unless I know it's strong on a fresh palate.
hmm Like, what cigars recently did I like too? The Eladio Diaz stuff, the new stuff he came out with, the guy who worked for Davidoff.
Okay.
I smoked a few of his I really liked. I said I like that little, uh, small little. Actually, I think I have it right here. I was gonna smoke it earlier. Yeah, I got it right here. Small little
Adventura. Oh no. The
HVC
hot cake.
hot cake,
Yeah,
little baby, three
that's
and
a
a half by
great
44.
cigar. It's a great dog walker.
That's usually my morning stick or the Tatuaje Black BC 4x40 with the closed foot.
Now
I
you're a
smoke a
big
ton of
Tatuaje
those.
guy. You're a big
Yep.
Tatuaje guy, aren't you?
hmm There's a reason for it. There's so much different stuff, and his stuff's more hit than miss. There's very rare times I get disappointed. You know, and like I said, it's all about the experience. It's all about enjoying something. I love Espinosa. You know what I mean? But
I love it. Everything.
certain things I don't like that Eric makes, certain things I don't like that Pete makes. But it's very few, and you
Yes.
can't expect somebody to love everything. Like I'm not here to kiss your ass. I'm here to enjoy a cigar. And if I don't like that cigar, I don't smoke it. And there's gonna be cigars I don't like.
Now
You
let
don't
me
like
ask you a
everything.
question. When you say you don't like, do you not like or do you not like as much as others? Does that make sense? Meaning, like, if I gave you a cigar that I didn't realize was on that list, would you
Hmm.
smoke it to be nice, but you're not like the biggest fan of it, but you'll smoke them?
There's a couple cigars I won't smoke for two reasons, right? It's not to disrespect you, like, you know what I mean. Like, I know you're giving me a cigar out of genuine being a friend, but I just don't like. Um, and majority of it's gonna be Cuban.
I will
Um,
agree with you on that.
like, I'd rather you give that to somebody who's gonna find it special,
Yes.
as comparison to me, who's just gonna be like, I don't like it, dude. Like, I don't want to take your cigar. Like, that's how I'll be. Like, a big hug and like, I appreciate you offering me the cigar, but like, it's gonna go sit in my house for 2 to 3 years, and I'm not gonna smoke it because when I
Yeah.
smoke it, I'm gonna go floral notes, woody, cedar. I hate it, and it's just what else did I not like? Connecticut's. I don't smoke Connecticut's. I don't go above 6 ring gauges. We all know the thought process behind that. Looks like you got something different in your mouth. You know,
You almost feel like you should be
questions
paid to smoke.
questions come up in a rise. I had a good friend send me a box of cigars, and they were a very very big Vitola, and I literally said to the master's back, like, I appreciate the cigars, but I'm not gonna smoke those. Literally, because
So
it was just too big, bro.
what is yeah, I know. I had Tom Lazuka on, and he I told him, like, I've never smoked anything over a 60, and it's very rare that I'll
Mhm.
smoke 60. And he's like, well, if I meet you in person, I've got a 770 or an 880 for you, and you got to smoke it. I'm like,
I'd
oh,
literally be like, nah,
maybe.
bro. I'd literally be like, nah, bro, that's all you. And let me
Well,
know
I
how
don't
you
know.
enjoy it.
Tom gives you. I might try it. I don't know, but I totally understand where you're coming from. Ish over at BAMF makes a cigar called the Muffler, and
The muffler, huh?
it's a 360 ring gauge in the center taper, or it's either 360 or 260 in the center, tapered down to a 60 ring gauge at the tip, and it's like 27. It's over 60 cigars. It's like 4 pounds, 5 pounds of tobacco. It's huge.
Yeah, that's just
And he did
overkill.
it. He did it as a joke, but somebody actually smoked it. He sent me the pictures of him. Took him. He smoked it 3.5, 4 hours, and he said he didn't touch a cigar for like 3 months after.
Wow. You know what brand that we didn't talk about because you bring up what's his name, and it's kind of funny that I didn't say that because I mean, I freaking love that tobacco. Like, I am addicted to that tobacco. That Corojo from Honduras, dude. I am
Oh yeah,
addicted to it. Like, that is one of my favorite things. Like, I don't think anything is touching Corojo from Honduras, in my opinion. I feel like that's the
I
best
love
tobacco there
Corojo.
is.
I love Corojo.
Aladino, dude. I love Aladino. And speaking of Tom, I was with Tom maybe. We went out to dinner. Shout out to Tom, man. He took me out to dinner too. We had a good time. Shout out to Tom. We were all out. It was me, Tom, Cavalier, Sebastian, Sin, the guy from Wildfire, Ian from Dappa, and Jeremy from Federal. We were
so
all out. And
so Kev, here, if you could see that, that's a carton. That's the cigar next to a carton.
yeah, I'm good.
So, but anyways, continue.
So Aladino, um,
Yes.
and I love Aladino, man. That Corojo Reserva. Some of the Cameroon, which I'm not a huge Cameroon fan. It has to be more like on the subtle, all the way through, not too much extra strength on the Cameroon earlier in the day. Ish's cigars. Personally, I like Ish's Intercontinental. I think it's a great cigar.
Ish
Um,
makes a lot of really good
mhm.
cigars.
That's the cigar that
Um,
stood out to me, though. Like, that cigar
yeah, that's a
stood out
good
to
one.
me. The Irish cigars he makes
The
too.
Irishman, yeah.
You
That
know,
was a
plus
good
I'm
one.
partial to Ireland because I'm Irish.
The
You know.
African Parow is
Oh
fantastic.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know
Yeah.
who else would be fun in your New England box? Amendola Boys
Uh huh.
would be a good one. Protocol, you would have to have Protocol. Um,
Yeah. Juan's my guy. I love Juan.
yeah, there's
Kev
enough
Spoof.
guys up there to find 10 people to make a specific box for you.
You know what cigar I love too? That Amendola makes is that Padrino, dude, with the purple band. That cigar is fire.
You know what cigar I love that Amendola makes? Just about all of them. Their cannoli
Hmm.
series, forget about it, dude. It is incredible. And in fact, their Connecticut cannoli, I know you're not a Connecticut guy, but that thing is just sweet and creamy. Like it's so good. So good.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
so where do you kind of see all of this? What is your vision? What's your end game on New England Cigar Militia?
My end game would to keep the group growing. Have a dinner maybe once or twice a year, whether it's a small cookout. Maybe get like a deep sea fishing trip, something like that going. I love fishing.
That sounds fun. I'm there for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, deep sea fishing trip, dude. I've been going fishing my whole life.
Get some
Um,
lobster. Ooh.
I don't eat lobster though. I'm actually allergic.
Oh, that
Eh,
sucks. Oh,
I don't
New
like it though.
England's
I
like
didn't like
known
it anyway
for it.
though.
Oh,
My
I love
family
it.
all eats fish. They love fish.
Oh yeah.
Um, and the end goal personally, the group is the group, but the end goal personally, dude, like I said, I'm not trying to become a millionaire off of cigars, but it'll be nice that I use the cigar money that I eventually make and maybe buy a little small casa in Esteli and have a place to go to that I can call my own in Nicaragua, you know?
So your goal though is to make this into an actual brand though, not just a group, right? Like
So
your stuff
I
will
think
be
we're a
on
brand
shelves.
already. I think we're a brand already. And the reason why I think we're a brand already is because people walk around with my shirt on and have pride in walking around with it, or they put it on their cigar box, or they, got my challenge coins.
So
And
let me back up. When I met Brad, I meant in the cigar side of it to where like I could walk into a random store and go, "Hey, I'd like to have you have the new New England cigar release,
hmm
cigar militia release." Like that is your end goal. Obviously, not to travel and do all of that, but if you could be in, 100 shops in the next 10 years, you would be okay with that.
no, I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that. So you would keep it more local, more limited.
I wouldn't keep it
Um,
necessarily say I'll keep it local, but my thing is that if I'm gonna put my cigar in your shop, I need to be able to support you 100%, just like you're supporting me 100%. So if I can't actually make an appearance, whether it's for 5 minutes, 2 hours, 10 days, um, live in your shop, and be able to afford the travel to do that, then it's not for me. You know what I mean? Like if you're willing to wake up in the morning and say, "Yo, Kev, I'm gonna buy 500, 1,000 of your cigars," I want to be there in person and be able to support you as a person. And me, I'm like I said, I'm only one person. I got my full time job, which I take a lot of pride in, working in the hospital. This is passion, so it's like the passion is it's real. It's like it's real. Like don't get me wrong, it would be cool to have somebody come by and say, "Hey, I'll buy your brand. I want you to work for me." I would think about it, but it would be with a lot of speculations, man. You
so
know what I
would
mean?
you bring on a sales team? Like, would you do something like that? Would you bring on people to move this? Like I get you want to not be so consumed with it, but if it kind of like this show, I never expected this show to last longer than COVID. It kind of took a mind of its own and gained a following, and
Hmm.
here we are. And now I have people interested in watching. Like, it was never an expectation. I kind of just ran with it, right? And didn't fight it. So
That's
would
literally
you
the same
be,
thing with me.
so if it got to the point where you were like, holy shit, dude, I have a guy that owns 15 stores and he wants to put me in, like, is this something where you would walk away from if it got to the point where this could support you over the hospital?
Right now, I'm still partial to my job. But if it was to the point that I was making enough money, that I could leave the hospital, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said that if I could be in SLE creating gems and having a great time, I'd be lying saying I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? But if, like I said, I mean, if that guy has 15 stores, at minimum, if I can't go to his flagship store as a person, then I'm not gonna do it. It's just if I can't commit to you and give you the time you're willing to invest in me, my my pride and my respect for all these people, it couldn't be done.
So you don't see, then you don't see yourself 5 years from now, if obviously if the right perfect opportunity presented, it would be different,
Let's
but
put it like this,
you
right?
don't see yourself
Let's put it like
leaving your
this.
job, traveling, doing this full time as it sits right now.
Let's put it like this, right? If AJ Fernandez called me tomorrow and said, "Dude, I'm willing to make you fire cigars, all hits, almost zero misses, but you need to quit your job and you need to be at the factory 3 to 5 months a year to make that possible," I would do more than consider it. You know what I mean? I would be
Okay.
there and see how it worked, but I wouldn't quit my job right away. Once I know that it was something that was supporting me, I can still go out and be me. The stress, like, I mean, I see the stress, bro. Like, I see what these guys go through. You know what I mean? I
Absolutely.
see it,
That,
bro. You
yes.
know what I mean? People can talk about, oh yeah, this guy makes a killer cigar or this guy does that, dude, but they put a lot of fucking work into it, dude. A lot of
Yes.
fucking work, bro. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like, I mean, I've made every decal, every fucking thing I've ever made, I made myself, dude.
Yes.
Down to writing my own article. A kid with a 6th grade education, bro. You know what I mean? That never gave up because I had no choice but to keep pushing.
Sure.
So if I can do that and I can commit to myself and I can still wake up in the morning and find passion, like one of the guys that I look at the most in the whole cigar industry is Nick Melillo.
Love Nick.
He's from
Love
Connecticut. He makes great cigars,
King
dude.
of the Broadleaf.
Yep, he loves what he does, and he makes a lot of hits and almost zero misses. I mean, if I could be like that, then I have to consider it. You know what I mean? But like I said, I mean, I do cigars because I love cigars. I smoke cigars because I love cigars. I don't ever want to wake up in the morning and be like, I hate cigars. So when it stops becoming a passion, that's when I just need to take a back seat and, maybe it's not for me.
Yeah.
Or how can I make it more enjoyable again? Or you know what I mean? Because I mean, coming on these trips, dude, like right now, I'm blessed to be sitting in San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua, where some of these guys that own cigar shops have $1 million pieces of property, dude. You know what I mean? The place I got right now, dude, is like 8 bedrooms. I was happy as a kid growing up with a bedroom. That's all I had. I had great parents, you know what I mean? But all I had was my bed, maybe a Sega Genesis, and a little bit of stuff, and I was happy with that. You know what I mean? I was happy with that. So like, I'm not gonna be a guy who's gonna be driving around in a Bentley if I had $2 million. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be. I'll be driving around in a Honda or a Nissan. It will
A
have leather
brand new
seats.
one, though. A brand new
Yeah, it will have leather seats. But that's
one.
about as far as it gets.
Auto start.
Exactly. That I don't even use. I have it on my car, dude. I don't even use it.
Dude, I put that on my wife's Subaru and we use it all the time. I use it to cool the car down. I use it to heat the car up. It's also just good for the car to run for a little bit before you go. But I digress. It's the little things in life that you got to be happy about, right? That's more or less
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying. It's not like you take somebody like you take somebody like Warren Buffett,
Mm-hmm.
one of the most wealthiest guys in the world. He's driving the same truck for 20, 25 years. Like that's just who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say that he doesn't go out to $10,000 dinners or, you know, $1 billion buys or stuff like that. But I think what you're saying is regardless of how big this takes off, because the reality of it is you don't know how big this is going to
Mm-hmm.
take off. And if the opportunity presented itself, it would be a serious consideration for you to jump ship and jump into this. Um, but I love the humble side of it too, because I tell you, as a sales guy for 20 plus years, I if I was if I owned a BMW or Mercedes, I would never take that. Excuse me, unless I was a real estate agent, I would never take that to a client. I actually was in a car once when I was in training for marketing, and it was a very, very nice Mercedes. My manager's car drove up there as we walked out, and we drove up to a mechanic shop to try to do marketing. As we left, the mechanic yelled out, "Next time, don't show up in a Mercedes."
Wow.
And we got back in the car, and my manager looked at me. He goes, "I totally didn't play to the audience. I shouldn't have showed up in this car, like to a doctor's office or an attorney." Yes, but the whole aspect of the story is it's better to be humble and show up than to be flashy because you end up turning people off. You end up bringing in a different clientele that you want. And let's face it, you don't want. You're much more of the working man. You're New England, right? Like it's docks, it's fishing, it's fishermen, it's working with your hands, and that's kind of the clientele I think you would rather go after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I grew up with nothing, made something out of nothing. Created a cigar group, something I enjoy,
So
and my
let's
job,
talk.
dude. Look, my job's the same thing, dude. You know what I mean? And, I could have made twice the amount of money. I mean, I got almost a 4.0 in trade school, dude, and I was doing HVAC, and I said to myself, I hate this fucking job. I hate waking up in the fucking morning. I hate this job. I hate everything about it. I want to kick this air conditioner across the room. You know what I mean? And then I always wanted to be a firefighter. I got two generations of firefighters. Shout out to my grandfather. My great grandfather died in the line of duty. I always wanted to give back.
Yeah,
Um, Unfortunately, I didn't become a firefighter. I got a 96 and a 99 on the test. It just wasn't meant to be. And then I started doing just baseline security. And then I got lucky and I hooked up with somebody else that I was doing security for like Phantom Gourmet, which is like, pretty big time. And then I was a supervisor for that. And then I got to meet like some of the Patriots and stuff like that and take
that's
them
cool.
around,
Aaron
you know?
Rodgers.
No, no, no. Not the Patriots. The Patriots. That's a jet. That's a jet.
Oh Jesus. Oh yes. Okay. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
New
sorry.
York. We don't
I'm
do New
sorry.
York out here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're
Like I
good.
said,
You're
I
good.
don't
You're
do
good.
sports. I don't do
You
sports
told me you
very
don't do
well.
sports. You told me you
I
don't
don't
do
do
sports.
sports. So not Aaron Rodgers.
Um,
Who's Patriots?
Tom Brady. I had never
Tom
met Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Tom
I met
Brady.
the
That's right.
I met
Boy, do I
Edelman.
feel dumb.
I met Edelman and I met like Chandler Jones and a couple of those other guys when they used to play for the Patriots. Um, and then I transitioned. I had a good friend of mine that I actually met in trade school, and then I started doing hospital security and helped me get a gig. And I've been there 10 years. Shout out to my hospital. We got number two in the whole country. So
So
it's not
let's
just regular hospital security.
let's talk a little bit about what makes you pick. This is where I love this part because we get to dig into you a little bit. So what makes Kevin Kevin when you're not New England Kevin? What do you do? What do you find relaxing in life when life gives you that opportunity outside of
Family first.
and
Family.
explain what you mean.
My sisters, my mother, hanging out with my dad, watching sports, or shooting shit with my mom, going out and just grabbing a family dinner and just kind of realizing that in life the only thing that really matters is your family. You know what I mean? Everything else is second. Some people I grew up with didn't have fathers at all. Period. Never had a father. Most of them actually. I think when I was a kid, it was only two kids that I knew out of maybe 50 that had dads. So I cherish my parents. My parents are getting older; they're in the 70s. So things like that, being able to just travel and go on vacations. When I was younger, I couldn't afford to do that. So like
What was one of your favorite places as a kid you traveled to with your family?
as a kid, we didn't really travel much, man. We didn't have money. I think one time my dad got us all in the car. There was five of us, my cousin, my sisters, my mother, my father. We all got in the car, stuffed into it, and we went to Virginia Beach. That was pretty cool because it was family all together. Rocking out to Hotel California.
And that's
Still
really
one.
kind of the fun though, right? Like when it comes to doing stuff like that, yes, that's not like a crazy long drive for you by any means, or it's not a
Hmm.
camping trip or a hotel, but it's
Yeah,
that
camping. I love
family.
camping, man.
But
Camping.
it
I
was
love
that
camping.
family trip, and it
Hmm.
was more of the memory that was created. So, what do you do now in your life when you get away? Where are some of the favorite things that you have done as an adult, traveled outside of going to Nicaragua and cigar countries?
I used to love Vegas. I don't really like it like I used to. I kind of transitioned with Vegas. I like Chicago because it makes me feel like I'm at home. Chicago is
Okay.
probably the only place in the whole world that I've been to that I felt like I was at home. Down to the baseball park.
Cubs
Going
or
to
White
Wrigley Field,
Sox?
Wrigley Field, Cubs.
Okay, Cubs. Yes.
Down to the baseball park and sitting there and just being like, wow, dude, this is old school. I got that Boston feeling in me. I'm like, this is a place I could live.
Yeah, you get
The
the
only thing is, it's
ID.
just
Hell yeah.
extremely cold, man. Extremely freaking cold.
As a South
Um,
Side, as born and raised in the South Side of Chicago, I will tell you, Chicago winters are unlike anything I've ever experienced. I've been up in Wisconsin for winter. I have now lived in Colorado for 8 years, and everyone's like, "Oh, Colorado winters suck." New England winters got to be just as fucking bad, but man,
Chicago's way
Chicago
worse.
winters is way worse than anything that Colorado has ever thrown at me in 8 years.
Buffalo's bad too, man. Buffalo is a place that
Yes,
I,
this
I
is live,
hated.
Vinny. This is live. Yes, right now. Is this
What's up,
live?
Vin?
Yes, this is
It's my guy
yes,
right
this is
there.
live. I love Vinny. I love Vinny. He gave me my first unicorn, and I was incredibly grateful for
He's a good
it.
dude.
Broke my cherry on it, so it was nice.
Glad he didn't break your back.
Oh, jeez. So, are you do you are you like what do you do when it's just you? Are you a gamer? Do you read? Are you a movie guy? Like when it's
I,
just
I'm not a
you
movie. I'm
alone
not a movie guy. I feel like movies are all sequels now. Like it's not like it used to be in the '90s.
or remakes? Yeah.
Godfather, Scarface, Gladiator, all that great stuff, dude. '90s, 2000s, it was just all fire. I watch boxing, UFC and boxing, man. I don't miss a fight. I was actually pissed because I look up, monthly. I look up like who's fighting, and I went last month after I already purchased my tickets to Nicaragua, and a Nicaraguan boxer, Chocolatito, was actually fighting the week before in Managua, and they never have fights. And it was about $120 for a front row seat, and in America that would be like 5K.
Really?
So I could have actually afforded to go to it, and I was pretty pissed I couldn't. Yeah, so I love
I do like
UFC.
I do love UFC. I do like
hmm
fights. Have you
hmm
seen the slap boxing with the
I
slap
think
things
it's.
that they're doing?
I thought it was cool at first, and I was just like,
Dude. So I got a buddy that's one of my what a lifelong friend. Literally, when I say lifelong, I don't have a memory in my head without his presence being known in some way. When I say lifelong friend, like it's to that point. Well, he lives out here in Colorado, and him and I were talking, and he was like, "You do understand that they're signing up for brain damage because they're literally signing up to stand there and take a shot." Now, New
hmm
England is very much known for boxing, fighting. So it's no surprise, right? You got Rocky up there, obviously not Boston, but you've got that area up there. So it
well,
it makes
we got the
sense.
real Rocky. We got that. We don't got that artificial Rocky you're talking about.
Oh,
That's a.
stop it now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa,
We got
whoa,
the real
whoa.
Rocky, bro. Rocky
Whoa,
Marciano,
whoa.
bro.
Whoa, okay. Well, I'll give you
The
that one. But
50 and 0.
Rocky Balboa has only been lost a few matches. All right. So he's just as good, right? He climbed those stairs and did this at the top. So come on, he's the
We
real
got
Rocky.
Mickey Ward. We got Mickey Wood. We got Marvelous Marvin
Well,
Hagler,
all
man.
the
We got
best fighters are pretty much New England. I mean you really you have the brawler, and it's because you guys like to fight. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, especially Boston. I've always been told that Boston's an area where if soccer was a thing, there would be field rushes every single game.
yeah. Soccer's getting bigger though. We have the New England Revolution, which is they play at the Patriot Stadium now, so it's definitely getting bigger.
So, what are your sports ranked?
What was that?
What are your sports ranked? Baseball, football, basketball, boom, 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 boom.
Well, that basically goes off of if I'm watching it or if I was playing it. So, like I said, I mean, I played 18 years of
Watching. What do you
baseball.
watch? What do you
Okay, so
watch more
what?
intently?
So watching it goes boxing or MMA, more partial to
Really?
boxing, more partial to boxing. Then it would go.
Okay.
Um, uh, that's a tough one because I would say it's hockey and
I'm
football.
losing all of these right now in my head when I filled out this list, when I asked this question. I am literally lost every single position right now. But continue. I'll tell you what I thought it was going to be, but you continue.
Yeah. Basketball. You know what I mean? Tatted on my arm. Celtics, 20-game losing streak. You know, I used to love basketball. I used to love basketball, bro. I hate basketball now. Hate it. Hate it.
You got to
It's
turn that
literally the worst
tattoo
sport.
into a NECM tattoo then.
No, that's staying. That's staying, bro. 20-game losing streak. We win the championship the next year. You know what I mean? One of the greatest teams of all time beat Kobe Bryant.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly expected you to say baseball, boxing, UFC, football. Basketball was nowhere on the list, even though I knew you had the tattoo, but I don't really see you talk about basketball much. So I didn't think that was going to be on that on that list. I was way off.
Hockey is probably my favorite thing to watch besides boxing and UFC because hockey, like you got that secondary element. You know what I mean? They're going down the ice. They're skating as fast as they can. Somebody comes over and messes with them, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you mess with my boy, bro? Why don't you come over here and we'll talk about it?" And then it becomes boxing.
So you like the goon aspect of hockey?
I love everything about hockey, dude.
Well, I was at
Everything.
I had the ability to go to two Wolves games, and I've been to one Blackhawks game. The one of the Wolves games I went to, which is the feeder team for the Blackhawks. Um, I watched a chick, I think it was a girl, take a hockey puck to the face. Like,
Oh
I
shit.
don't know, like 50 feet away from me. The puck came over, high stick violation. Puck came up over the net and just dropped her. She got carried off. I'm sure she got a ton of money, whatnot, but yeah, that's always been like I've loved going to sporting events, but I rarely watch them on TV. But I will say the one thing that shocked me is I went to a baseball game. Never been to a baseball game ever in my life. I went to a Colorado Rockies game, nosebleed $10, $12 seats. I now understand why they're 3 to 4 hours long because it's commercials between every swing. It's like every, it's literally like a commercial between every swing. So, what is next on Kevin's list for things to do? What are we looking at after this next release? When are we looking at another one? Can you give any insight into that?
Next month, I'm gonna come out with the Cigar Militia Unknown series, which is just gonna be, like I said, it's just gonna be Vitola and smoke the cigar and enjoy the cigar. You know, if you like it, we might keep it going. We might make another production, but it's gonna be truly limited. Like if I say there's 1,000 cigars, there's no like artificial bump up and there's 5 million hidden. It's along the reins of something like maybe like a lost and found. And then, like I said, I mean the 4th of July. I mean I'm gonna try to do that. Every year I make my challenge coin. I've been looking into like hats, you know, some sort of um, snapback or something that everybody could fit in. I got a PVC patch I'm making.
Are we going to be
Um,
looking at a Lancero called the Musket from you? That's what you should do. You need to have a Lancero and call it the Musket.
how would I make it unique though? That's the question.
Well, a
Closed
unique
foot, you know what I
Lancero.
mean?
Well,
But it has to.
closed foot.
I mean, I was actually gonna make a cigar, which is kind of funny. So that's when I kind of realized that like I'm not just a regular person with thinking. Was when and I'm just gonna say it how it is. I mean, when I came out with packaging that I never released, I never really showed anybody. And then Caldwell 6 months later came with almost the same exact packaging that I created 6 months before that I never used. And now the reason why I never used it was because you know, a couple of my friends said it was too violent, so I never used it. And I wanted to use it. I was all in on it, and it was basically like my guy. And you know, he had a gun, and it was like this, and it was like you were looking down the barrel of my cigar militia guy, and I was gonna call it 21 gun salute.
Ooh.
hmm
Okay.
And that was something that I made. That was a project that probably never will be released because I'm not like I said. I mean, I made it before him, but I didn't release it. He made it. I'm not trying to sit here and fight about who made it or
Oh,
whatever. Like,
for
I'm not that type
sure.
of
For
dude,
sure.
you know. So, but it was very similar. I'll actually show it to you after, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, dude, it really is exactly the same thing." So, I mean, that kind of made me realize, like, oh shit, man, I actually have a creative mind. If somebody who's been in the cigar industry, you know, making a lot of cigars for a long time, comes up with my idea, basically in the same time frame, dude. So now it's just basically what it's basically what it's about right now is pushing cigars I love and bringing them to the community. And then once I get to that point that I find maybe 2 or 3 cigars that I want to keep in production, you know, my breakfast cigar, my lunch cigar, my dinner cigar that y'all enjoy, then I want to make stuff I don't enjoy and challenge myself. So like I hate
Explain that a little bit
Connecticut's.
more.
So I hate
Explain that a little.
Connecticut's. So I want to make a banger Connecticut cigar.
So you have
You know what I
not
mean?
had a Connecticut cigar that you and you don't have to name brands, but is there have you found one that you like, or have you just not found one that you like?
The Jamie Garcia is okay, the filler and stuff. I actually really love that Jamie Garcia with the broadleaf.
The
But
Jaime
like I said,
Garcia?
you Jaime, I'm
Yeah,
calling him
okay.
Jamie. Real gringo.
It was throwing me off. I was like, I don't know that one.
Oh, you don't know Jamie? So that cigar I liked, and you know what else I do like? Is the Queen's Pearl.
Oh my god, dude!
That cigar I
I
like.
I
That cigar
love.
I've recommended it to a lot of people.
So I'm just gonna say it. That is a brand I love everything he does.
Hmm.
I love Adventura. I am an Adventura fanboy. Um, I mean, I would say that honest to God, with every sponsor I have, I love all of their stuff. And I
Hmm.
know that's really hard, but that's kind of how I pick who I want to be part of the show. Is I've got to love and got to appreciate it. But no, I agree with you. That Queen's Pearl, especially in the Lancero. Have you had it, the
Exactly.
Lancero? Oh my
Exactly.
God.
Banger. Banger.
I agree. I agree. You know what?
Yeah.
Are you a Candela guy?
Yeah, I am a Candela. I like
Have
Candela,
you
but
do you know
occasionally.
Apostate Cigars?
I've heard of them. I have not smoked any of their cigars.
So they make Kevin Shahan, big Candela
Yep.
guy. I love Candela as well. Um Apostate Cigars makes probably the best Candela on the market today. And it is fantastic. And I'm literally saying that to the Holy Lancer Candela is the pinnacle of Candela in my opinion. And
Which I agree.
the
And the
and the
CG4.
correct and the Apostate Candela is honestly a run for its money on that. If you get your hands on that, do it. It's really good.
Skip
Really
cigar. I
good.
like his Candela too. Skips.
I'll be
I like
honest,
his.
I have not had a whole lot of Roma craft. I have not. I've had
Mhm.
the Intemperance and the Neanderthal, and that's it.
It's so funny, right, with Skip cigars, because like I said, I talked to Skip, right, and it's just real conversation, right, that I have with him. Like, I don't do politics, I don't give a shit about anything like that, so we don't have those conversations when I talk to him, and I'm not saying I talk to him 100 million times. I just talk to him on occasion. And his Candela is fantastic. And I bought maybe 10 of them, and every single time I went to smoke that Candela in the New England weather, it exploded on me.
Oh yeah.
3/4 halfway through. So I sent him a message and I'm like, dude, like this cigar keeps exploding on me. Like, am I doing something wrong? And he's like, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm in Boston. He's like, yeah, you can't smoke that out there in that weather. And I'm like, he's full of shit with this one. He's lying, bro. I'm gonna fucking take these cigars and I'm gonna keep them in humidity for 6 months, and I'm gonna smoke it again. And it's not gonna happen, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm smoking in the wintertime, sometimes outside. You know what I mean? So the elements are there, literally. And sure enough, dude, I smoked it and it was like perfect, bro. Like maybe for like 3 inches, 4 inches,
Mm.
and then boop, exploded. And I'm like, this motherfucker was right. Yeah. So I mean, that's probably the only time I've ever had a cigar that like I totally second guessed his thoughts, and I shouldn't have, because this is the guy who makes 30, 40 different cigars. I mean, he knows what he's talking
He
about.
knows his shit,
And I was just like, there's
regardless.
no way
Yeah,
he's lying, dude. But the flavor, dude, that comes out of that cigar is amazing. The flavor that comes out of the Neanderthal, especially in the Lancero, is amazing. The Don Bosco's, dude, with Candela and the other leaf on it. I forgot what leaf is on it, so I'm not even gonna say. Absolutely love that cigar. The Black Irishes, love that cigar. I don't like the Whiskey Rebellion. It's just not my flavor profile. I've just never been a fan of it. But I mean, like I said, I mean, there's some cigars that Pete makes, some cigars that Foundation makes. That I think Foundation and Soccer, and it makes sense, is like the same realm to me, right? It's the same realm, right? Like they get the same similar blending style. They like the same type of cigars. They work together.
makes
So like
total
when you
sense too. Nick
yeah,
learned from Steve, anyways.
exactly. And like there's certain cigars that I like that Steve makes that I like more than certain cigars that Nick makes. You know what I mean? Like it's certain cigars that Nick makes that I like more than Steve makes. You know what I mean? So it's like there's certain people in the categories that I kind of venture to on certain days and certain times. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different cigars that I smoke now, dude. Like a lot, man. I mean,
So, so where, if I was in a shop looking at your cigars, how would you sell your cigars to me? Where would you start?
That's so tricky though. You know why? Because I've already done that, right? And it's just like I'm so genuine that I just don't want to be a used car salesman. You know what I mean? I just
Well,
want
let
you
me
to
let me position it differently. How do you help people that say, "Hey, Kev, how should I pick a cigar? What's your
somebody
response?
else's cigar.
Doesn't matter. If I come up to you and go, "Hey, I've been smoking for about 6 months. Here's what
Okay.
I smoke." How should I branch out? How should I pick a new cigar?
Well, now that I know what I know about cigars, and obviously to keep you away from flavored cigars, I'm going to ask you the strength profile, um, and I'm going to ask you your budget, and then I'm going to kind of direct you towards, okay, you like bold cigars. I'm going to ask you like, okay, what's the cigars you've smoked? And if they say, oh, well, I like Connecticut broadleaf, then I'm gonna venture you into some of the Tatuajes. I'm gonna venture you into that new HVC. You know, I say I
So
like Connecticut, then
let me
I'm gonna
let
say
me ask it
Perdomo 10 year.
let me ask it differently this way. If I was to come up to you and say, "What does your box press cigar most resemble?" Cigar
What
wise,
does my
like,
cigar?
meaning like, oh, if
Tatuaje.
you okay, so if you're a Tatuaje guy, you are going to love this cigar.
If you're a Tatuaje guy and you like that strong Mexican San Andreas flavor, bold flavor through it, more on the medium to full cigar, you will definitely enjoy my cigar. If you smoke a Connecticut, I'm not even gonna offer that cigar to you. Like I'm gonna literally tell you, like, yo, bro, like I appreciate the opportunity that you want to give me your business to support me, but I don't think you're gonna enjoy the cigar like somebody else would who likes full cigars. Or,
It's just
or
a little too
or
much.
yeah, it's a little too much. And I'd rather maybe in the future, keep an eye on my brand, keep an eye on England Cigar Militia, and you join the group. It's because at the end of the day, support is support. You know what I mean? And whether you're
Absolutely,
like some people don't even post in the group, and I'll see them in public, and they're like, dude, like I've been in your group for 4 years. I'm just not a guy to post, but dude, I'm watching you, and I'm like, all support is good support, bro. Like just by you saying that shows me that you support the group. You should support me, and you might have
absolutely.
just a decal, you might have a T-shirt, you might have 10 T-shirts, you might have all my challenge coins. Like I have probably 20, 30 people now that like I want everything you make.
That's great though, and you've done your research, you've done your studying on other stuff on social media. So there's a question here. It says, have you looked at other brands' messaging on social media, and how has it changed your approach? Have you learned from your competitors or learned from other groups?
Yeah, definitely Cigar Dojo. Definitely Drew Estate guys. I learned from both of them. Watching their mottos and how they have their following and the people who tune into them every night
So
and
what's
enjoy their
something that
podcast.
you used to do in the beginning that you were like, I don't do that anymore? Like what's a way the group has evolved over the time that it's been here,
So I used
other
to do
than getting
podcasts.
deleted?
I used to do podcasting a lot. Right, I had my own podcast. I was blessed to get all the big guys, kind of like how you got a lot of big guys on the podcast. And I was doing it during COVID, so I mean, my job was so stressful, bro. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like a 30 when COVID started. And
Oh,
it
I'm
came out of
sure.
left field. It came out of left field. I was just at Smoke Inn, chilling, dude. Just got through going to the Great Smoke, had a great time, dude. You know what I mean? And then I was doing the podcast literally for the people in my group, and I used to say it all the time, dude. Like, I don't do this for me, dude. Like, I don't like this. I do this for you. And it was directly off the cuff. Like I'm talking about, there was no There's no sponsors. There was no writing down a couple of questions to ask. Like, I'm literally just talking, and whatever
Yeah.
comes out on that podcast came out.
That's what we do here.
Yeah, and it's like, and I think that's the genuine side of a podcast. I mean, I don't want to hear 700 of the same questions that everybody gets asked, dude. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I agree. I
you
agree.
know, and as it went on, I was like, you know what, like, in certain aspects, like, it can be about the group, but like, it also has to be, like I said, you know, I enjoy cigars, and I don't enjoy that. I
No,
respect that people
I
do it
get it.
like you, but like, it takes, you know, certain hours. Like perfect example, I appreciate you for taking 2 hours of your day when, you know, I'm sure you have a family, I'm sure you have a kid, and you have other responsibilities to worry about, and you're taking 2 hours out of your day on the same night every single week. You know, whether you got to do your laundry, whether your wife's about to cook dinner, whether, you know, you wanted to go out with your friends on that Thursday, there's a cigar event at a lounge. You're taking 2 hours out of your day every single week. And then you're working hard to get that person that wants to come on there. And then just because the person says they're going to come on there, you know, you have difficulties like I had, dude. I thought it was at 8 o'clock. This time, dude, I wouldn't have been here. I, I would have been down the street eating dinner, you know? And good thing you messaged me, like, you got 8 minutes to get. I'm like, oh my God. Thank God I didn't go anywhere, you know? And I came from Esteli, so I mean, that was almost 5 hours worth of travel I just took. So I was planning on 8 p.m. and, you know, a couple hours downtime, grab something to eat, do whatever I got to do. But it's just taking the time out of your day is very difficult to commit to one thing. So when
it
people
it
subscribe to
certainly
your
is.
podcast and people follow you and follow your episode every week, or they watch it, you know, when they wake up in the morning, they might not even look at who's on, and they watch it to support you, or they listen to it in the car without even looking at the pictures of the people who are on the video. And it's all support, and it's everybody has their own place in the cigar industry, right? Like Cigar Prop has his own place in the cigar industry. He doesn't go many far away places yet, but he every week he's taking out Sunday or Monday, and, you know, time away from his family, time away from his kids, or like a cigar manufacturer that's going out on the road, and, you know, they're making cigars. Like, yeah, it's cool. They get to go to the bar and get free drinks, right? But how cool? How long is that cool for, dude? Like, yeah, it's cool. Rocky Patel gets to go, and, you know, he can basically have any professional athlete smoke a cigar and chill with him and vibe out. But like, at the end of the day, bro, like, you know, your family's your family. Your time's valuable, and, you know, I'd rather just sit in a cigar lounge with preferably 3 to 4 people, smoke cigars, meet somebody new, you know, talk about work or talk about play or talk about, you know, damn, I can't believe, you know, Floyd Mayweather, you know, just lost, which will never happen, by the way. Which will never happen, by the way. He'll be in a wheelchair still winning. I always told people that I'll take Floyd Mayweather in a wheelchair over anybody. Um, so yeah, it's like it's difficult. So I mean, transitioning the group, the number one thing with me is bringing people together. It's the number one thing, and besides the podcast, I haven't changed anything at all. I'm me. You like me, you don't like me, you love me, you hate me, you smoke with me, you don't smoke with me. I'm never gonna change. You can come back 20 years from now. I'm still gonna be the same person, whether I have 25 million or I have $2 in my pocket. I've been close to the top. I've hit rock bottom multiple times in my life. And at the end of the day, dude, I have 2 arms. I got 2 legs. I'm able to look out of my eyes, and I'm able to talk to people. And I work in a hospital, and I see people that don't have that opportunity. You know,
That's
I see
true.
people that lose their baby. You know, like I tell people all the time, you know, that I train. I mean, I've trained over 100 people. Um, I tell them all the time. I said, you know, it's cool. It's cool, bro. Like, yeah, you're making great money. It's cool. You got great vacation time. I said, but there could be that one day that there's that Boston Marathon bombing that happened again. I hope it never happens. But what are you gonna do then?
Yeah.
All the money in the world, bro, ain't worth nothing.
No, you're
You
right.
know,
You're
you
you're
know,
100%.
and you gotta really have passion for whatever you do. And whether you like it or not, my grandfather always told me, bro, it's your job. You signed up for this. It's your job. You're not a hero. You're not better than anybody. It's your
Even
job.
froze.
You know.
No, I
You,
you gotta love your job. You gotta love what you do. You've gotta do something that gives you that pride and that sense of pride in what you
hmm
do. So here in closing, Kev, gonna throw some lightning round. Hold on. Here we go. We'll do this last question for you. Since you wanted a new question, the butts are spanked and in the fridge. What is your favorite whiskey pairing and cigar for smoking? And what is your favorite moment to date?
Well, I'm gonna crush his hopes and dreams with doing this one. So I don't know his name because that would give him a public apology. I do not drink whiskey, um, at all. I'm one of the few who don't, out of all my friends. Um, Whiskey just doesn't sit in my stomach correctly. Um, and, what do I like? I mean, I drink rum. If I drink,
Okay, so what's your
yeah.
favorite rum cigar pairing?
I would say, uh, 26 Padron and some Ron Zacapa XO. If
Okay.
I had the
Have,
money, the
have
money
you
and the
had
time.
this? E. Leon Jimenez?
No, but I'll check it out.
So this is made by La Aurora.
Oh wow.
And it is very very my first rum experience, and
hmm
I've had a couple rums since this, and this has ruined that experience of trying. This is incredible. It's literally like Kool-Aid that's got alcohol that's sweet, but it's done with it's incredible. Definitely try it. So here in closing, just throwing some rapid fire stuff at you, quick question stuff. What is your favorite rapper?
My favorite rapper, all time favorite. Who do I think the best rapper is all time, or who do you think my
You could
personal
do
favorite?
you can do all time music rapper and then cigar rapper.
Oh, cigar rapper too.
Yeah, either
Okay.
one. I have people that give me both. It's up to you.
Wait. You're saying actual rapper to a cigar?
Yeah, but see the way the question's worded, it sounds like rapper in general. So you can give me
Okay. Boom.
rapper
So
and cigar.
cigar rapper, I would say probably broadly for Corojo.
Okay.
Um, and rapper, I'd have to go with um rap group. I'd say a rap
Okay.
group, Wu-Tang Clan.
Awesome. Great group. Great for sure. What's your
Uh,
favorite size?
Favorite
Size.
a cigar.
Yep, Vitola.
Okay. I used to be 5 by 52. Now I would say it's 6 by 42 Lonsdale.
Okay, so you've gone a little bit smaller in ring gauge. 38 to 48 is my favorite too.
hmm
Absolutely. What's your favorite region for a cigar?
In Nicaragua, Honduras, no questions.
Okay.
You know,
um, I think I know this one, but obviously you body wise, what's your favorite body wise? Are you
favorite
full?
body wise.
You yeah, are you
Oh
full,
yeah, medium to full,
medium,
medium to full.
medium to full? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you retrohale?
Yep, 100%.
Do you like that burn? I love the burn.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
do. I do. That's one of the reasons why I love Espinosa is I know I'm gonna be burning. I love that. Um, how do you cleanse your palate?
I usually drink ginger ale.
Okay, okay,
Ginger ale, water. Sometimes I'll drink lemonade. Like I said, I mean, if I'm 100% trying to like make a cigar or I'm trying to experience a cigar, there is no such thing as liquor being involved because it's just a fight to the finish. Yeah, it's literally like you just like it's like basically the best way to put it in my brain is take my torch and put it on my tongue and then be like, okay, like, do you like your cigar? Well, how's the liquor? Like, okay, I can't taste nothing, but yeah.
You know, Abe actually got me into doing craft root beer with cigars. Not
Oh, great,
not A&W, but like craft root beer.
great,
Really,
great. Root
really
beer is
fucking
great.
good.
Yeah, Twins up in New Hampshire, dude. They have like root beer on tap. Primo, primo, bro. I drink that a lot too when I'm up there.
What when you are in your testing mode, how many cigars do you typically smoke before you pick?
Well, when I get there, I don't smoke any. I try to put my brain on what I was trying to create that I thought about for months. And then I know that I want strength, obviously. So I go binder and filler. Make sure I get to the point that I want to be at with the binder and filler. Then I worry about the draw. Um, Once I know I got the binder filler, the draw is down pat. Then I usually, with the assistance of the master blender, which shout out to him, my guy Lolito, hilarious by the way. Shout out to him. I ask him like, what do you think? Like, where should we go with this? And then I'll kind of let him direct me, almost like a maestro, because I tell him all the time, I'm like, you know, I know cigars, but like you're the tattoo artist. Help me create the magic. I can give you, I can give you the whole tattoo, but your little expertise is gonna make that tattoo so much better. So what do you think? You know what I mean? And it's funny because like when I came up with the first cigar, it was like 15, 20 cigars, binder and filler, and I was just like, no, 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 this is better. No, 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 no. And then we got to where we wanted to, and then it was like maybe seven with the wrapper, binder and filler. And I got to the cigar I wanted to, and it was literally two puffs. And I was like, this is it. And he looked at me and he said to me, because he's just brutally honest like me, he goes, that's it, motherfucker? After all that? That's it? You sure? I'm like, that's it. And then boom, that was how my cigar was created, my first one. So once I know where I'm at, where I want to be at, I don't second guess it. I'm all in, you know. But when I gotta get there, I mean, it's everything when I'm making the pictures of the logos and stuff like that. I'm looking at the freaking thing, and if the arm looks wrong on the guy or something, like I'm crazy, dude. Like I'm out of my mind. You know, you know, like
So
I have one with a glass like this, right? And when she gave it to me, the glass was like here. And I'm like, no, 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 no. The glass has to be here. That has to be there. This has to be there. Like literally
your
piece by
attention to
piece.
detail.
Yeah, one of my shirts took me the ride to smoke in and the ride back on a plane.
Oh, wow.
Just one shirt. My band took me hands on time 60 hours.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, you don't work with me if you don't wanna hate me after.
So
And I'll
one
tell you
last
before.
yeah, go ahead.
I know I'll tell you before. Like, hey, listen, you
Oh,
work with me, you're gonna hate me after. So let's keep the friendship.
so one last question here. I love this question because it's a little introspective and causes you to think a little bit. Regardless of what your religious beliefs are, when you ever meet a creator that you believe in, what do you want to hear?
would I ever meet a creator that I believe in?
What do you want to
Now is
hear from that creator?
that goes back to my dad. Okay, you're doing good, but you could do way better. You could go way harder. You could go way faster. You could put way more passion in it. I mean, when I played baseball, dude, I would go 3 for 3. Steal 3 bases, and then I would miss one ball, and I would get in the car with my pops. My pops would be like, you missed that ball, right? I'd be like, damn, dude, like I just went 3 for 3, pitched 6 innings, struck out 10 people, and like you're not forgetting that I missed that ball. So it's like always been like you could always be better, you could always do more. And like there's never gonna be a day that I'm satisfied with myself. Just never gonna be.
Well, that gives you your drive. That gives you that what you've created so far. So like
Yeah.
that is your engine, that is your driving force, and it seems like you've learned to use that to benefit you versus use that to mentally tear yourself down. And there's two ways of looking at that mindset. One is completely tearing yourself down, and one is striving to hit that picture that you have. And it
Mhm.
seems like you've done that strive to hit that mental picture that you have. And that's the best way to use that level of drive for sure. So, well, Kev, thank you so much, brother, for coming on. Thank you so much for being a great friend to the show and for wanting to come on as well. And it's truly been a pleasure to have you on. I hope I gave you something that you haven't gotten before or that was a little bit different for you from any other show. And I really appreciate you going down some of the avenues that we went down and learning just more about you and your background and your drive and your passion, because that really is in one word that I would say around you is passion. Is you are incredibly passionate about what you do, who your family, and who you are as a person. And I love the fact that you won't change. um I love the fact that you'll tell somebody to fuck off like that. I love that aspect in people, because and you expect it from somebody in Boston, like you do, and so like I love that about you, and don't ever lose that for sure. Um, thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much as well. And Steve, love you always, and we'll look forward to seeing you at Dojo's party here for Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. So Kevin, I am looking forward to seeing what you have in the future. I'm looking forward to supporting you further and more, having you back on the show, talking more about your stuff, your brand, and what you're in the market doing and doing for the cigar community. You're busting your ass in Nicaragua right now, and I'm so jealous. You sent me pictures earlier today, dude. Like it looks like you're having like an absolutely fucking amazing time. So continue to have that. Thank you so much for coming on, Kevin. And tell everybody really quickly how to find you, how to find your group, and how to support the group.
Instagram's New England Cigar. Facebook is New England Cigar. And I also have my own personal page, which is the Commish on Facebook. So you can hit me up on any one of those. You could also personally message me, man, if you have any questions. I'm just a regular dude, so send me a message if you have any questions. You want to talk, chat, join the group. Any thoughts? Any recommendations? You know,
He
everything
does
counts.
put he does put his pants on two legs at a time, but I'm not going to say he's completely normal. But he does the sit down, the pull up. But the reality of it is, Kevin's a very down to earth guy. Reach out to him. He's very responsive, very active on Facebook. So definitely check out New England Cigar. This was an absolutely fantastic cigar. I look very forward to smoking the musket, and soon, hopefully, over the next few years, would love to see a New England cigar manufacturer box come out of your group too. I think that would be a lot of fun for you in that project. So thank you so much, Kevin, for coming on. And until we see you all again, Smoke what you like, smoke as often as you can, and have a great rest of your week. Bye, everyone. Peace.